take one of these 3-in-1 coffees. Just stick one of those in there, that'll be enough for me. Finally out in the woods again. I've come to a patch that I know very, very well. This is actually the woodland that I have permission to be in from the landowner. It's pretty extensive. It runs for a fair while. I've just come in today to pigeons up there. Just come in today to have a wander around, see what's going on. Nothing special really. I'm not staying out overnight or anything. I thought I'd bring you along for the journey anyway. I'd just come out and do some scouting around the place. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to head over in this direction. So keep up with me and I'll come back to you soon. There you go, Mick from Jester Bushcraft. I know you'll appreciate that one, and your kids will. That's a fine example of a birch polypore for you. Sitting on an old birch stump, silver birch. Been eating a little bit, something's had a little chew on it, but don't know how well you can see the underside, how well that's focusing. But you can see it's a kind of porous tubular, tubed kind of rather than gilled fungus. Edges look to be rolled just slightly around the edge. There you go, Mick. Right, I think I'm gonna have a little sit down over on this fallen tree over here. And get my number one bit of equipment out, favourite bit of equipment. Only problem with this end of the woods is that you've got, when the wind blows in this direction, you've got the noise coming from the main road. It's a dual carriageway, big dual carriageway, and I can even see the odd flash of cars through the trees there. So I think I'm going to head off back in that direction, get away from that. But I'm going to have a quick drink first and have a little chat with you. I'm really chuffed with the responses that I got from that 10 favourite item kit video. So thanks very much for that, really appreciate it. Again, this is one that I really wasn't sure about doing. You know, I thought, who's going to want to see a pair of my moccasins on a video? Who's going to want to see me bring a thermos out of my #1 bit of kit? But actually, the response has been really positive, and I'm so pleased for that, and I can't thank you enough for everybody that commented and so on and so forth. One of the questions that was asked as a result of that video was about doing a series for beginner bushcrafters, and that kind of one single request, again, that was from Bruce Buffer, FTW. Thanks Bruce, got me thinking again. Don't do that too much, eh? And it kind of got me thinking as to how on earth would I go about doing that. The last thing I want from this channel is to tell people what to do or how to do it. If I come across that way sometimes, I apologise, because it's not meant to be like that. Oh man, that's hot. Too hot. You have to put up with me talking for a while again. While I let that topic cool down. And I thought, well, I can either go into about 20 different videos of, you know, what I would do and where I'd do it and how I'd do it and kit and all that kind of business. And I thought, fundamentally, for people that are just starting off with an interest in getting out in the woods and that sort of thing, that's part of the problem, is there's such a wealth of information out there from different people. You know, and some people telling you that it should be done this way, and you should light a fire this way, and you should carry this tinder, and so on and so forth. And sometimes I think it gets a little bit too fluffed up, and we kind of forget what it's all about, really. And I've been racking my brains walking around the woodland this afternoon, thinking, how can I address that? And I thought, really, you've got to go back to basics. You've just got to go back to the fundamental point of why it is you want to do it. Why do you want to get out into the woods? Why do you want to get outdoors? And actually, there's a lot of answers to that question. Do you just want some fresh air? Do you want to get closer to nature? Do you want to do some bird spotting, some twitching? Do you want to be getting yourself into fungi? All of the above. Do you want to become an expert in, or not even an expert, but just get familiar with wild edibles, you know, and just get some basic understanding of foods that have become forgotten these days? And really, I guess, you know, it comes down to what is it you want to do? What do you want to get out of your time out there? For me, it's an escape. It means I don't have to entrap myself with modern conveniences It's an escape from things like televisions and DVD players and microwave ovens and all those sorts of things that we've just engulfed our lives with to just make them so easy, and really to stop living. And this is what it's all about for me, you know, getting out here and watching what's going on, really opening up my senses. Opening up your eyes and letting them focus into the distance. You know, we're so compounded by what's going on in our short-term lives that everything's right up close to us. It's right here. You've got to look at the paper, you've got to look at the news, you've got to look at your work, your laptop, the person in front of you. Everything is so close these days. Give your senses, give your eyes a chance to really focus out a couple of 100 meters, you know, through the trees, through the branches. Our ears are so used to picking up sounds that are so unnatural to us, really. You know, telephones, televisions, the ding of a microwave, the boiling of a kettle, all those things, you know. And when you come out here, it actually takes a little while for your senses to really start to pick up on stuff. So I think for me, where do you start with bushcraft? Just get out, you know, just for an hour. You can't expect to go out. Well, you could do. There's no reason why you couldn't do. You know, I was going to say there's no reason why you couldn't go sleeping in a hammock and under a tarp and spending a couple of nights out in the woods. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. But to be honest with you, I find that people lose interest, because there's actually quite a bit involved in understanding and learning different knots to use to make your life easier. How to pack gear away in your bag and take it out again. All those things, when they are all mashed up together, make an experience out in the woods for a couple of nights unpleasant to a lot of people. So I would just suggest get out for a couple of hours. You know, that's kind of how I did it as a kid. I snuck through that gap in the hedge and went over the golf course, but just spent a couple of hours listening to the, you know, the birds and watching the squirrels and mucking about with my mate and all that kind of business. But it was all a process of familiarisation. It was all a process of getting my senses attuned and accustomed to what was around me, which was different to everything else in my life. And I would say that with everybody else, if you don't get out that much, or you want to start doing it, you've made a life decision that you want to get out into the woods and enjoy it. Take it gradually, do it step by step, because one of the reasons people don't have a good time out here as well is that they're afraid of it. Now, why on earth would you be afraid of a woodland? People are, you know, they're afraid of the sights, they're afraid of the sounds. You get into a midnight and it's pitch black in a woodland, you're miles from anywhere, well not miles literally, but you know, you're a fair way from anywhere. You're away from that safety net, that comfort zone that you're used to. You know, the bricks and mortar that have been built up around us. You know, if something goes bang in the night, you can just jump up and flick a switch and all of a sudden you've got illumination all around you. You know, you start hearing sounds and stuff going on in the woods, and you know, there's people that get freaked by that. But for me it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I love it. And I'm passionate about it. And I'm passionate about getting people to like it. You know? Make a plan, decide what you want to do, get out there, make sure you cover up and are protected from the elements. Stick yourself a flask of good coffee in there. Make yourself a bit of a packed lunch and just walk around. Find yourself a place to sit down and just sit for half an hour. That's where I would start. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to sit here and let my senses become attuned again. You let me know what you want from this afterwards. As I say, I'm not going to turn this into a channel that dictates to people what they should and shouldn't do. I want it to be about my experiences, and hopefully my experiences might inspire other people to do a similar thing. But you know, if you've got anything you want to see, then by all means, or want to hear about, then by all means let me know, and we'll address it. In the meantime, I'm going to get on with the coffee. Turn the camera around. I'm going to get some footage for myself, and after I've had to sit down for half an hour or so, I shall probably crack on and do a couple more videos somewhere. So see you soon.